Let me read to you, if I can, on this particular Sunday in Lent, one of the great Psalms of the Old Testament. The book of Psalms is always inspiring, and it's certainly a psalm that's of meaning. It's Psalm 121. I lift up my eyes to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you, and the Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forever. This is one of those great psalms. It's in a section called the Psalms of Ascent. And this psalm begins with a question which reflects human anxiety and uncertainty. It was not originally written as a pilgrim song, because that's what the Psalms of Ascent are, but it was spoken of in Psalm 121 verse 1, not hills or mountains which pilgrims had to cross on their way to Jerusalem, but it's thinking about something rather more profound and more meaningful than that. It speaks of an experience, it speaks of a journey, but it speaks of difficult times. The hills call for us to recognize that God's gracious help is all that is needed for our lives. Oh, we need many, many things, but here is something that we all need. And it begins with a question. In the New Testament, when we read the Gospels, so often people ask Jesus questions. But here we have a profound question being asked. From where does our help come from? And we're told in verse 2, the Lord is creator. In verse 4, the Lord is the keeper of Israel. And then in verses 5 to 8, the Lord is seen as being the one who keeps our lives. So it's a psalm that begins to speak into human experience. That's the great thing about the Psalms. No matter where you cut into them, they're all about human experience. And we're glad to be here at the David Morgan Centre, where we're with people at work, recognizing in their working experience that God meets us at those points. And there is no part of our lives that cannot have some impact when we start to look for God's truth. And the writer of this psalm, I'm calling it the poet, reflects upon the mysterious force that hills represent and draws on a holy sense of confidence in God. Really, I think it's recognizing that these hills, which represent something, really call from us a response. We recognize when we ask the question, where is our help going to come from? There's a sense in which we can be confident that the God who made the hills, who made the mountains, who made everything that is there and is willing to walk by us and be beside us and offer his gracious peace and confidence. It's a truth that we recognize in Jesus. We see it in the New Testament in a very powerful way. The psalm begins with doubt and uncertainty. From where does it come from, this help? But it ends in a triumphal song of confidence. This is not a secret guarantee that all will go well. I mean, there's sometimes Christians, that seem to think we have a guarantee that everything's going to go well for us. And it's not like that, because there are times in our lives when even the best of people, even the people walking a solid pilgrimage, even those people who are walking close to God, have difficult times. And I hope that we're persuaded by the truth that's here, which is saying that God will be with us in those times. I suppose we take another angle on it. We say in any and each given circumstance, we can be sure of God's presence. We must be giving encouragement and comfort and renewed faith to people. I hope it's doing that for you, that you at home and whatever your experience is today will know that the God who made the heavens and the earth, who brought creation into being, who spoke to us with clarity in the person of Jesus, is really able to meet us at our point of need. The point of need is different for all of us. Just as people are all different at this wonderful place at David Morgan Centre. People are like that all across Australia and more so all across the world. But the great truth that comforts me is that whatever happens to me, whatever the circumstances of my life are, at that point, God can meet me and strengthen me and give me confidence. And I really do hope that that's the message you're receiving from us. I hope you're inspired by listening to these people here who've worked here for so long and enjoy their work, enjoy their lives. All of us can do that with our lives. I can hear from the fun in the background here, all that's going on. It's a wonderful place to be. But it's a place where not only hard work, but enjoyment and satisfaction meet. And when you think that we're running this centre and we're doing the work we do for the sake of Christ, it makes such a difference. God bless you at home today, and may you find that wonderful truth that the Lord will watch over us, our coming and our going, both now and forevermore.